Have you ever wondered how different our world would be if World War II had never happened? Just pause for a moment and let that question sink in. World War II, a conflict that spanned 6 tumultuous years, altered the course of history and reshaped the global stage. Its impact is imprinted on our modern society, from the geopolitical landscape to technological advances. It's a story of humanity, power, and transformation. Join us as we delve into the pivotal moments of this world-changing event. The year is 1939, and tensions have been brewing. Europe, still nursing the wounds of the Great War, finds itself once again on the brink of a devastating conflict. The catalyst? Germany's invasion of Poland, a blatant act of aggression that shocked the world. Germany, under the iron grip of Adolf Hitler, had been expanding its territories through a series of annexations and treaties. However, the invasion of Poland was a step too far. This act was seen as a direct challenge to the peace treaties that had ended the First World War. In response, Britain and France, guardians of the balance of power in Europe, had no choice but to declare war on Germany. Despite their hopes for peace, they recognized that appeasement had failed, and that they must now stand firm against the growing threat of Nazi Germany. And so began the deadliest conflict in human history. As the war raged on, decisive battles and strategic decisions shifted the tides. Let's delve into a few key turning points that were instrumental in changing the course of World War II. First off, the Battle of Stalingrad. This was a brutal clash between the Axis and Soviet forces that lasted for over 5 months. It was one of the deadliest battles in history and ended with a significant Soviet victory. This marked a turning point as it halted the German advance into the Soviet Union and began a series of Soviet offensives that would eventually push the Germans back to Berlin. Next, we moved to the invasion of Normandy, popularly known as D-Day. The largest seaborne invasion in history, it marked the start of a massive Allied campaign to liberate Western Europe from Nazi control. The successful landing at Normandy opened up a second front against the Germans, hastening the end of the war in Europe. Lastly, let's not forget the bombing of Pearl Harbor. This surprise military strike by the Japanese led the United States to enter the war. The involvement of the US, with its immense economic and military power, significantly shifted the balance of the war. These pivotal moments not only changed the course of the war, but they also shaped the world as we know it. By 1945, the war was nearing its end. The world was enveloped in anticipation, yearning for the cessation of the conflict that had consumed so many lives. Across the Pacific, a new, terrifying force emerged, an atomic power that would forever alter the course of history. On a fateful day in August, the United States dropped atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The devastation was unimaginable, the impact immediate. Japan, reeling from the unprecedented destruction, announced its surrender within days. Halfway around the globe, Germany was also nearing the end of its rope. The relentless hammering by the Allied forces had taken its toll. In May of that year, Germany had already signed an unconditional surrender, marking the fall of the Nazi regime. The world, scarred and battered, watched as the smoke of battle cleared. The world breathed a sigh of relief as World War II finally came to an end. The aftermath of World War II was as monumental as the war itself. The world was forever changed, and new institutions emerged to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again. The United Nations was born out of this need for international peacekeeping and cooperation, setting the stage for a new era of diplomacy. Meanwhile, the war's end marked the beginning of another conflict, the Cold War. The ideological battle between the capitalist West and the communist East would dominate global politics for nearly half a century, a chilling reminder of the precarious balance of power. Simultaneously, a wave of decolonization swept across Africa and Asia. Nations once under foreign rule seized their independence, redrawing the world map and shifting global power dynamics. In recap, we've looked at the outbreak, the turning points, the end, and the aftermath of the war, highlighting its pivotal role. World War II was a defining moment in history that continues to shape our world today.